It's taken many years of development hell, but we are finally getting the Gundam Seed movie titled Gundam Seed Freedom. And after waiting for almost 2 decades, I'm actually surprised that we're now already getting the movie in only half a year. Well, I say we, but it's like January the 26th, 2024 is the release date for Japanese cinema, so I hope that the rest of the world will get it shortly thereafter. So before we dive into the trailer, let's have a look at everything that happened in these past 2 decades leading up to the movie. The original Gundam Seed aired from 2002 to 2003 and would immediately be followed by Gundam Seed Destiny 1 year later, which ended in October 2005. Both series became instant mega hits and even to this day remain some of Gundam's most popular and financially successful series. Something that can be seen in a variety of ways. But back in 2005, this meant that obviously they weren't going to sleep on this series. And something was going to be done again. It was so successful, it would be stupid not to. So in 2006, we got 2 things. First up, we got Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Cosmic Era 73 Stargazer, an amazing OVA side story set during Gundam Seed Destiny. And, of course, the announcement that Gundam Seed Destiny was getting a sequel. The movie that we now all know as Gundam Seed Freedom, but back then was simply called the Gundam Seed movie. And Chiaki Morisawa, who was the head writer for Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny, would reprise her role for this movie. And then, radio silence. In 2007, we would get a small update, but that would be all. The voice actress for Stella, Hoko Kuwashima, revealed that her character would be in the movie, probably as a flashback, and that some other characters would be returning for sure as well. Lacus, Isaac, and Diarca as part of the Plan Supreme Council, and Kira, Shin, and Luna Maria as part of Zaft. And then again, nothing. Not very promising for a movie that was supposed to be the follow-up to one of the most successful Gundam productions to date. But then in 2008, Miss Morisawa would give an interview in Animage, one of the main anime-related magazines in Japan. Here she revealed that while the plot for the movie had been completed, she had fallen ill after the completion of Gundam Seed Destiny. And her situation was bad enough to the point that she needed to go to the hospital for treatment. Something that understandably had an effect on the creation of the movie. However, she did assure fans that this was the only reason for the delay and that she was energized for the project, implying that as soon as her health improved, work on the movie would continue. Unfortunately, the movie would go on an indefinite hiatus, and in 2016, Chiaki Morisawa sadly passed away due to an aortic dissection. 2019 then would be the first time in over a decade that some good news would come out surrounding the project. In that year, Takanori Nishikawa, a famous Japanese singer who did several of the Gundam Seed intros, participated in the Live Beyond concert for Gundam's 40th anniversary. And at that concert, he said that he was told by a staff member that work on the movie was still in pre-production, a statement you can take 2 ways. Glass half full people would see this as good news because the movie wasn't cancelled and there was at least seemingly some work being done on it and could still come out, or glass half empty people saw it as confirmation that this movie was going to be in development hell forever. At this point, it was 13 years since the movie's announcement, and it was still only in pre-production. Clearly, this wasn't going anywhere fast. Enter 2021, when Bamco unveiled the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Project Ignited, a huge celebration of Gundam Seed's 20th anniversary, with equally huge things that they were planning. Figuratively and literally, because part of it was the life-sized Freedom Gundam statue that was placed in Shanghai. The other announcements were a manga, Gundam Seed Eclipse, a new game, which apparently became the Gundam Seed P-Fever Pachinko game. Whoop-de-frickin-do. And of course, the announcement that the Gundam Seed movie was in fact still alive and being worked on. And I think this was also the first time that it was officially announced that Mitsuo Fukuda was the director of the movie. Something that everyone of course saw coming from a mile away because he was also the director for the original Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. But what really shocked me about the Gundam Seed Project Ignited announcement was that Gundam Seed is 20 years old. Time flies by, man. And then things died down again. With people, again, perhaps rightfully so, beginning to doubt if this movie was ever going to happen. But exactly 1 week ago, the Gundam Seed movie, now dubbed Gundam Seed Freedom, finally got its release date of January 26th, 2024. Over 22 years since the original started airing, and over 18 years since Gundam Seed Destiny ended. So of course, a lot has changed, and this was something that was acknowledged by Fukuda. Over the last 20 years, the technology to create anime has changed significantly, in particular 3D CG, and also the staff has changed significantly, with some people leaving and with some people who grew up watching Gundam Seed Destiny now being part of the team to create the Gundam Seed movie. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this mix of old and new will come together to create this new Gundam Seed production. Story-wise, it so far sounds very good and also very promising. Fukuda is aware that he has some pretty big expectations to fill because despite their sometimes very divisive reputation, both Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny were and still are very successful, and that is from both a financial and a popularity point of view. But he is looking forward to rising to the challenge and to create something that is just as successful. Although, at the same time, he also wants to create something different because he now has a very different team. And this is definitely a good resolution to have because one of the very fair criticisms people often have for Gundam Seed Destiny is that, especially near the end, it was kinda just Gundam Seed all over again. And what we know about this very different story so far is that it takes place in Cosmic Era 75, approximately 1 year after Gundam Seed Destiny. The main theme will be freedom versus destiny, and that Fukuda wants to do something with the unresolved drama between Kira, Athrun, and Shin. Because even though we do see them coming together at the end of Gundam Seed Destiny, with the way the final battle went, I'm sure there is still a lot of ways they can go with that, because at best I would describe their relationship as complicated. So I wonder if we're going to see more Kira versus Shin. The theme is freedom versus destiny. You just have to look at the mobile suits they piloted, and on top of that, Shin was on Team Durandal, who was the main Destiny guy from Gundam Seed Destiny. So it would be interesting to see if there was some kind of civil war going on between the people supporting Lacus, who is the current leader of the plans, and the people still clinging to the ideals of Durandal, the previous leader. As for how the 3D CG looks, we got a good taste of this during the 30-second trailer that they released, which is linked down below. For being 3D CG, it blends with the rest fair enough, and will no doubt solve the two main problems that the animation from both Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny had. Reused animation and grunts that very statically wait to be shot down.
Oh no.
And for the characters, we also got some big changes. Kira mostly still looks like you'd expect him to, just more HD, but Lacus, in some shots, had something go seriously wrong with her lips. In some they're fine, but in others it looks like she did the Kylie Jenner challenge. Just compare this with how she looked in the recent video for the life-sized Freedom statue. So overall, while I can definitely see why they're going the technological route they're going, I am somewhat disappointed to see that they didn't continue the style from the HD remasters. Maybe it's just my nostalgia speaking here, but I think that the animation style still holds up very well today and looks better than a mix of 3D animation and 2D animation. Just look at how beautiful Witch from Mercury looked. Still, there is of course always a possibility that the mobile suits will be a mix of 2D and 3D, because we do see a wrecked 2D Jin, so while I'm not holding my breath, I do have my fingers crossed. And guess who's also back? The Space Whale. Also known as Evidence 001, or the plot point that never actually went anywhere. So, since they decided to give some screen time to this thing in the 30-second first trailer, I wonder what role it's going to play this time around. Like, just imagine if the entire movie ends up being Kira in his new Freedom Gundam versus a horde of space whales. Other than that, we also get to see Kira's new piloting suit, but that is about all that we know so far. We'll have to wait a bit longer to see what the new Freedom Gundam is that Kira will be using that new piloting suit with. Because, let's face it, even if just for merchandise purposes, he will get a new Freedom. Whether it's an upgraded Strike Freedom or a completely new Freedom. But yeah, let me know down below what you are looking forward to the most. Personally, I've always had a soft spot for the Earth Alliance's mass production mobile suits, as you can see in the background. So I am very much looking forward to seeing what the successor of the Gundam is going to be and how they're going to be slaughtered. And of course, more Mayrin is also always appreciated. So as always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great day, and I'll see you all next time.